Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. So, arm day, one of my favorite days for many, many reasons. It's easy, you get a nice bump, and obviously arms. I mean, who doesn't like training arms? So, we're gonna start with the lying down curls. Sort of like a new exercise that I've been doing. I've said this in previous videos, but it works wonders. It's just a very good exercise overall. It just puts the resistance where the resistance needs to be. When you do curls and you're just standing up and you just do curls, here where all the resistance should be, since this is the position where your muscle is the most stretched, your bicep, there is literally no resistance whatsoever. Gravity is taking over, really. So if you can find a way to sort of like put all the resistance here when your arm is like that, this is when you get the most gains, and this is why this exercise is so good. I'm going to show you how it looks like before I actually start doing the sets. But we are going to start with this exercise, and then we're going to do some dumbbell skull crushers. I'll say a few things about dumbbell skull crushers and why I don't use a bar, not a lazy bar or just a straight bar. And I prefer dumbbells overall. But for the most part, let me just show you what this laying down bicep curls look like and why they are effective. Just explain it a little bit. Right, so you're gonna grab two dumbbells, relatively light dumbbells. You don't really need a lot of it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna set yourself up here properly. As you can see, the seat where my head goes is a bit of an incline, so you can tuck yourself in properly. You're gonna bring your arms literally all the way down here. You're literally gonna hyperextend everything. And then you're gonna curl essentially, and then repeat. The moment your arms hit the dumbbells, it's this position right here. You don't even have to go all the way here because that literally takes away like all the resistance from your biceps. I don't feel my biceps here. I don't feel a contraction. I feel nothing. So just stop there, and then the moment you reach that spot, start lowering the weight slowly and controlled. Close at the bottom. So why this exercise works very well is because of the stretch position. This is down there, all the resistance is there, or at least most of the resistance throughout the movement is there. Whereas with dumbbell curls, when you're down there, there's almost no resistance. Most resistance is around like this part here. That's why this works. So we're gonna do three sets of this, yes, and then we're gonna move to dumbbell skull thrusters. Oh, whew. That was, I think that was 14 reps, which is very good because usually we do 12 here with that amount of weight. So that was very, very good. One of the things as well with this exercise, I can actually feel that my biceps become the limiting factor 100% of the time because it's just there's really nothing else that is being worked here. You could argue that there's a little bit of chest because obviously you're stretching your chest when you're like when the dumbbells are right there and the resistance is there, but it's not really doing anything. It's just a stretch version, which is fine, but it didn't really tire me out. You know what I'm saying? Is like my chest is not really becoming the limiting factor. So the only muscle that could potentially become the limiting factor in this exercise is your bicep, which is very good. Right, two more sets, and we're moving on. Right, and as I said, Oof. 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 Ah. Oof. Oh, oh, right. Let's do one more. And the last set. Mm. Mm. Oh. Ooh. Oh, fuck. All right. That's that then for the first exercise. We're going to do some dumbbell squat classes now. I'm going to set up the bench and then talk a little bit about dumbbell skull crushers versus everything else. So dumbbell skull crushers is going to be the second exercise of the day. Why I choose dumbbells? Why do I choose skull crushers? Well, for triceps, any sort of movement, even if it's cable, even if it's just a dumbbell and you just put it behind your head and you're doing laps, any sort of exercise that makes your hands go over and behind your head and then hyperextend that tricep as much as possible is an effective exercise for triceps. There are tricep push downs as well, which are obviously also effective if you're doing them correctly, very close to your body at all times on the bar and stuff like that. I'll explain that later because we are going to do that exercise actually a bit later. But any exercise that goes over and behind your head is extending that tricep, is like literally just stretching it apart, which is why this exercise is very, very effective. Now, I choose dumbbells because I do have a dominant arm, which is not very strong, but not a lot stronger than my other hand, my other arm, but it is stronger for sure. And sometimes if I use a straight bar over there or an easy bar or whatever, something which is kind of like a one thing, and it's not separate dumbbells and stuff like that. My dominant arm takes over eventually towards the end of the set, and that's what helps my left arm. But obviously that creates an imbalance, so I'm trying to avoid an imbalance by using dumbbells because obviously then that like solves that issue completely if you have dumbbells and not a straight bar. So that's why I choose dumbbells personally. It's up to you, really. I would just say do the exercise, do the dumbbell skull crushers, see how it feels. Do straight bar skull crushers, see how it feels. Do easy bar skull crushers, see how it feels. If your shoulders agree with it, if you don't feel any weird sort of, if you don't feel that discomfort in your elbows, that's fine. You should be fine. You should be good to go. I would recommend you trying doing dumbbell skull crushers just to avoid that imbalance. But it's up to you, really. Everything works. Every single exercise that, again, extends the muscles on the triceps and the tricep, or the triceps, and um, the triceps become the limiting factor and not anything else, is a good exercise as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to do the first set, tell you what this looks like, so you actually what this looks like, and just tell you a little bit about some advanced tips, let's say, and how to do it properly, because there are a lot of people who are not doing this properly because they just stop the movement very prematurely. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right. So, by the way, the bench is straight this time around. I used to have it on an incline, but it hurts my shoulders just a little bit when it is on an incline. So straight bench it is for me. So when you hear a lot of people will do something like that, which is, it's not terrible. You're still gonna train your triceps, but it's not optimal by any means. But you should be doing that slow on the way down, sort of all the way down, touch your ears right there, and then up, down. The dumbbells have to come to the side of your face. Like literally, if you can't touch your ears, with the dumbbell, that's fantastic. Your elbows remain in a very, very similar position. So you don't do this, right? They remain up there. You're gonna feel hurt for sure if you do that. There is no way, especially on the way up. You can really feel your triceps taking over. That first set, because I try showing you what this looks like, might not be the best set in the world, but it still counts. What's that? Right. So hopefully that explains why I do it, and hopefully that showed you the sort of proper way of doing it. In reality, if you feel your triceps doing most of the movement, that should be all right. There are some advanced tips. That's the side of the dumbbell, but no, just do the exercise for the most part. It's a pretty hard exercise to get wrong. But yeah, I mean, try it. The thing that I said about the bench, it is straight at the moment. I used to do it on an incline. I just hurts my shoulders, so I stopped doing it on an incline. I just bit the bench straight, and it that went away. I can still feel my triceps very, very much. So that's all right. We're gonna do two more sets with the same weight. Then we're gonna move and do some supersets after. Yeah, and our second set. Oh, that's that. Right, one more set. Let's do that last, third and last set, and then move to our supersets. Oof. 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 Oh. Ooh, that's done. That was the two sort of like main exercises, main heavy exercises. Now we're going to do some supersets. They are heavy. They are supersets. So they are, demanding, let's say, but we have two more exercises essentially times 30 sets each. So we have the printer curl and then tricep push downs. I'm going to set everything up, show you what this looks like, what we're going to do, the right technique to do it as well. And we're going to go from there. And then I think if we have time, we're going to do some rear delts with cables, and that will be that for the day. Let's go over there and set everything up. I'm pretty sure I've set everything up properly anyway. So, please look at it. We have 25 kilos on. Just counting the weight that's on the actual easy bar. I don't know how heavy the easy bar is. They're usually around 7 kilos, I would say. So 35, if you want to call it that, a little bit less, probably 32 kilos, something like that. Anywhere between 32 to 35 is what we have on at the moment. I'm gonna rep this one out, obviously. Gonna try to get minimum 10 in. I think last time I did this exercise with this weight, I did 11 reps. I could be wrong, but it doesn't really matter. Just as long as the bicep gets to where it needs to be failure wise, I'm happy. And then we're going to do some tricep push downs with a straight, well, it's not really a straight bar, it's more like an easy bar over there with the cables. Yeah, that's going to be the superset for the day. We're going to have to do that 3 times. I believe last time I did a Myo rep max superset. And although that sounds terrible, I'll do it again today. Because why not? So essentially, however many reps I get on the first sets, I'm gonna have to match on the remaining 2 sets on both exercises. It's gonna suck, but it is what it is. So let's do it. So with the breacher curls, extremely good, extremely effective exercise because it isolates the muscle, well, the bicep really, and it allows you to do the reps properly because it's pretty hard to fuck this one up. There isn't much that you can fuck up. So that's pretty much all you do. And make sure you extend the biceps. And that's it. Ah, fuck it. I was 11. Don't think that I was 12. I think that was 11. Anyway, let's finish off the superset, and then we can talk about it. When you do supersets, it's a good idea to take a breather in between sets, just so your cardiovascular system doesn't get in the way, and the fact that you just fatigue one group of muscle doesn't affect the other. It's just biceps, so it's not going to take long. So I'm just going to quickly talk about the technique here. So, what you want to do when you do tricep push downs is you want to keep the bar very close to your body, touching always the torso. If you can, that'd be fantastic. So you just bring it down, and the reason you keep it close to your body is because when you come up, it hyperextends the triceps if you keep the bar close to your body. A lot of people just do this, and again, you are gonna train some triceps if you do this, but it's definitely not optimal. And there is a lot of lower chest taking over, in the movement. It's just not proper. So let me show you what this looks like. You can try and rep this one out. So you are going to bring the bar close to your body, and then you are going to rep that one out. And by keeping it close to your body, what happens is You extend the triceps. You can stretch them properly. Does make sense. So on rep number 5. Oh, oh, I think that was 12. When I talk, it's a little bit hard to count reps at the same time. I can't multitask. So 11 reps, 12 reps. It's good enough. Slow and controlled reps is the key. It's also the key to make sure that you are doing the exercise properly, because if you just, it's pretty hard to tell whether or not the technique is there. You don't need to do them super slow, the reps. I mean, they don't need to be super slow. It's a good idea to do super slow reps when you begin, when you are a bit unsure about your technique. But once you get the technique down, tempo is just it doesn't matter all that much, just as long as obviously it's in between the lines and it's nothing crazy or to the extremes. So 11 reps, 12 reps. My rep match on the second on the other 2 sets. Let's take a breather and then go back at it. Second superset. Remember, my reps will have to do 11 reps and go from there. I've never been that guy. So even when I was in crypto, people come to me going, "Hey, I'm crypto." No, because if you lose, you're gonna cry to me. If I tell you to buy something and it goes down, you cry. If it goes up, you keep the money. Why the fuck am I talking to you for? I've never been that guy. So it's me. Why did you tell me? One. One rep left. I like to always tie back to things that are pretty good at it. Well, I like how they make conversation. Let's do it. One more. Who the fuck am I telling? Oh, fucking hell. All right. Triceps. 12 reps here, so my reps. You know what that means. Let's do it. I'm not that guy because I've been in that room where they said we're outside of that half drug, we're not outside that drug, that room. I'm not. I'll make so I have oh, hey, hey ho, no Myoreps needed. That's always a welcome surprise, isn't it? So, one more superset. See if we have time, then we can do some rear delts, and then that's it for the day. I know it's only two exercises. Well, I say two exercises. Two exercises per muscle group. So 2 bicep exercises and 2 tricep exercises. But I like to keep it short but very intense. So I don't really like training, like doing a lot of volume. I'm not saying that I'm not doing volume, by the way. If anything, to me, this is quite a lot of volume. Myoreps, supersets, going to failure on the first 2 exercises. It's good, and it's obviously compact, so there's a lot going on there for the muscles in terms of hypertrophy, of course. But for me, it's kind of like I don't like having to do too many different exercises, like do 4 different exercises per muscle group. So do 4 bicep exercises and 4 tricep exercises in a single day. That's a bit of an overkill to me. So I'd much rather just do two exercises per muscle group, and then obviously trying to find ways to make it more effective for muscle growth, and obviously get my muscle very close, if not to failure. And that's it. It keeps it short. I don't spend a lot of time in the gym. I don't waste time by doing junk volume after a while. And obviously, I let my muscles recover, or actually, they are able to recover more in time for the next session. So that's kind of like what I like doing, because I have, I used to do more, a lot more. I believe I used to do 3 exercises per muscle group, and I used to do 4 sets per exercise. So that's quite a lot, in my opinion. And especially as you progress and you get bigger, that type of volume could actually be more detrimental, because the bigger you are muscle wise, the longer your muscles take to recover and the more weight you can move. So you move more weight, you train more, your muscles are bigger, so they take longer to recover, which means that eventually you just reach an area where you just do junk volume, you're just moving your weight around, you don't really feel the pump anymore. It's not optimal, is all I'm saying. And with that, we're going to do the last set. I think I've rested enough. The last superset. So 11 reps here. They're going to suck, but it is what it is, isn't it? And then we're going to do some triceps, and then we will probably call it a day, but we'll see. It depends on the time. Ah, two more. Two more. Oh, fucking hell. Okay. Let's do some triceps. Let's do some triceps then. 12 reps, my reps, if we need them. Ah, yes. Oh, two more. Oh, holy shit. Two more. Ah, oh, that's it. But let me go check the time and see if we have time for somebody else. There's no time. So I'm just going to pack everything and go. But pretty good day. Now, I also want to say, because I do this sometimes when I don't have enough time, I just decide which exercise I'm not going to do, which muscle group I'm not going to train as much as the program says. What I want you to understand is your program is not a prison. You can change it. You can be flexible with it. I can do rear delts in some other day, because, quite honestly, rear delts are a very easy muscle to train. It's quick. It's not demanding at all. Also, when you do back, most back exercises will, in some shape or form, train your rear delts. So I'm okay with not doing a lot, like a completely separate exercise from my back, with like pull downs or cable pulls, whatever it might be, rope pullovers. These exercises train the rear delts also. They don't isolate them, they don't train them specifically, but they do train them when you move your back. Your rear delts are getting moved and everything. Now, I will say there are muscle groups, for example, for myself, my calves. I never, ever, ever train calves. I don't feel I have the need. I'm just one of these people who's genetically blessed when it comes to calves. And although I never train them, they look the way they look and they're massive. I get compliments all the time about them, and I never train them. And I'm like, this pisses me off because on one hand, it makes me happy because it means that God gave me something genetically. On the other hand, I never train them, and people compliment them. I'm like, dude, I spent all that time in my back and my chest and my legs, my quads. Compliment them, you know. But it is what it is. But for me, the point that I'm trying to make is I don't really need to train calves because God-given gifts, I guess. But that means that I can get away with it. So if I have a leg day and the leg day says leg press, squats, hamstring curls, or good mornings, whatever, and calves, and I don't have time towards the end, or I simply don't have enough energy, I'm just drained, and I know this is junk volume, I'm like, well, I'm going to skip calves because there's no point of doing it. The same with my rear delts. I don't feel I have to get bigger. I just don't. I'm pretty happy with the size of my back overall. So I don't think that a rear delt is going to make that much of a difference. And again, I do train them when I do back anyway. So training them specifically is just a little sprinkle on top. Just because, why not? But yeah, I don't feel like your program is some sort of a prison and you have to train everything. Also look yourself at the mirror and it's like, are you happy with the size of your biceps? Because if you are, or maybe it's time to do a little bit more triceps just to get them up to speed. Just depends. So yeah, I'm done for the day. I'm going to pack everything and I'm going to see you not tomorrow because tomorrow is rest day. So I'm going to see you on Friday with another body session. Have fun. Peace.